Yeah, that's also okay. Hey, pendrive ಕೊಡಪ್ಪ ಎರಡ pendrive ಬೇಗ ಬೇಗ ನಾ ಮಾತಾಡೋದೆಲ್ಲ ಈಗ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಮ್ಯೂಟ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂತಲ್ಲ ಮ್ಯೂಟ್ ಇದೆ ಸ್ಪೀಕರ್ ಕಮ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಸ್ಪೀಕರ್ ಸೌಂಡ್ ಕಮ್
more a foreign language. And without English language, we cannot think of our day-to-day life. A good communication means hearts, careers, and a good name. So, in this context, our today's one-day national level workshop on competence, which is organized by the English Somaliland State College and University, is a very unique and relevant program. To inaugurate such an auspicious event, we are lucky we have our honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor M. Ramachandra sir, with us. He is a strong supporter of intellectual activity. He is always with us in all the activities as a supporter, inspirer, and a backbone. So, on behalf of our college and Professor Jayapal program director, a hearty welcome to sir. Our proud principal and special officer to Vice Chancellor, director of this workshop, Dr. M. Jayapal. Actually, this event is possible only because of Professor Jayapal. It was his initiative, and he explained us and asked us to do one another activities. Every week we have to do another activity, every department. So, the token of all of them to him, just a flower. I request our Vice Principal, if today's resource person of the technical session, Dr. Shanti Varadarajan, though retired, a very dynamic, eminent, very senior scholar, and always inspiring the younger generation in intellectual pursuits. I assure you all, you will enjoy her discourse. The whole workshop will be very good for you all. I welcome her. She is with us online from Bangalore. I welcome Madam. In future, I would colleague in the introductory notes of the workshop. A warm welcome to her from the college and ask you to this event. I request Jyoti Patil to give her a flower and welcome to the function. We are very lucky, so lucky that there are not so many things, but added to the chance of the program. We are very lucky. We have a big dignitaries here. Dr. M.D. Kaitanawa, MPSC member Bangalore, earlier worked in AIT College Northern. I request the dignitaries to felicitate him. President, College Association. So thank you for coming. Ex-President Kardi Kashi, Karnataka Vishwavidyalaya College. So thank you for joining us. I welcome all the administrative staff and the teaching staff of all the departments of the university, and we have delegates and teachers from 5 states: Kerala, Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, Telangana, and Andhra Pradesh. So all the teaching staff and all the delegates, on behalf of somebody in First State College and Dr. Jayapal, program director and principal of the college. It is already nearly the end of it. I will come to Fayyaz and Santosh Rajput from Pragati Party for working enthusiastically to make this event successful on Zoom and YouTube. A warm welcome to all participants who are present here, and the more engaged participants who are interested in this one-day national workshop on communication skills for global confidence on Zoom platform and YouTube, because it's not expected to have to stream it on Zoom and YouTube live. So let us have a good time and good day to you all.
Thank you, ma'am. Now, may I request Mr. Suresh Gangotri to present a bouquet as a token of affection to Dr. Kavita ma'am, Dr. Kavita ma'am. It's because of her hard and dedicated work. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. The art of communication is the language of leadership. Now, may I request Dr. Kanikappa Pujara, Assistant Professor, to introduce us.
Good morning, all. We're going to introduce some of the activities on the parents who are able to I'm very happy to introduce a honorable Vice Chancellor Dr. M. Ramachandran. He is an icon for all of us who is a source of inspiration behind this program. And Professor Ramachandran has completed MA, MCom, MP, and PhD. He is with us. I would like to introduce him for this August gathering. Now, the great personality, the resource person of today's session, Dr. Shanti Varadarajan Madam. She is a retired professor and head of the Department of English in RPAN's First College, Bangalore. She has completed PhD in English language. The topic of her research work is the socio-linguistic description of a variety of standard English in India and its pedagogical implications. She is a certified freelance examiner for the British Council for various international examinations. She has more than 38 years of teaching experience as well as the head of the Department of English in RPAN's First College, Bangalore. Her areas of specialization in teaching are English language and usage, grammar, lexis, vocabulary, and syntax. Shakespeare's plays, prose, poetry, and drama. Communicating English for students of commerce, arts, science, and business management in the tertiary level. She is the coordinator and trainer of the UGC advanced courses of communicating English at various universities and institutions. Madam has contributed a lot of things in seminars, workshops, and conferences at various levels. She has presented papers and participated in international, national, and state level conferences. She has served as the coordinator of the UGC National Seminar on Who Owns English, the native users minority, or the non-native users majority. She was a coordinator of NAC assessment in RBA First College twice. Her resource exercise in various levels like she has been trained in the British Council of Council to offer business English and communication at various programs. She is a trainer of effective business communication, oral as well as written for executives in the leading IT firms like Kindle Software, IITB, Wipro, SDPM Bangalore, Simplicity Bangalore, AFR Industries, Chennai Bangalore, and Mangalore. She is a resource person for banks on effective communication, trainer of English teachers at the higher secondary level, conducted workshops on communicative English and effective teaching of English in Muscat and other areas. External faculty member of the Regional Institute of English, Bangalore for spoken English. She is a resource person for colleges and school teachers at UGC refresher courses. She is a resource person on grammar being meaningful for CBSE teachers of Kendriya Vidyalaya at national level. She is a resource person on functional grammar for managers of Vishwanath and other banks. She has published a lot of papers as well as books Also, we have created various modules for English teachers. With this introduction, I would like to welcome her for this workshop. She believes and other great personalities who are with us today. That is Dr. M.D. Ahmed sir. He is presently the PhD member of Karnataka. Formerly, he was a professor of political science. He was a former chairman of Political Science Teachers Association. I heartily welcome him as well as to introduce him for this gathering. And another great personality of the Srinivas Gowda is presently the president of Audit University Colleges Teachers Association. I welcome him and introduce him for this gathering. And another great personality of Dr. Fayyaz sir, former president of College Teachers Association in Karnataka. In this brief introduction, I welcome you all for this gathering. He's working as NAC for NAC team in Melbourne. Presently working as special officer, Rani University, Belgavi. He's the principal of Sangoli Rayana, First Grade Constitute College, Rani University, Belgavi. He's the president for Karnataka State First Grade Colleges Principals Association, Karnataka. He's the president for Bangalore University's Degree College Principals Association. And more than that, he's a very dynamic person. He's organizing various international, national, as well as state level seminars, conferences, workshops, faculty development programs, and a dynamic person, friend, philosopher, and guide to all of us for teaching as well as non-teaching fraternity of the Rani University as well as Sangoli Rayana First College. Welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. May I request Mr. Suresh Gangotri to present the bouquet to our Vice Principal, CMA, Anil Ramdhan sir, as a token of respect. Thank you, sir. We will now have our traditional auspicious life planting ceremony as a tribute to Mother Saraswati, goddesses of knowledge. May I request the dignitaries and the ties to lighten the lamp.
Okay, sir. 1 second, sir. Sir, sir, 1 second. Madam. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, all the dignitaries. May I request our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor M. Ramachandran Gowda, sir, to address the gathering.
Good morning. Mr. Fayyaz. Yes. Our friend, Ilkal, member. Sir, he was president of Pandit Janama University College Teachers Association. And our great friend, one of the state, because he's a writer, he was instrumental in getting the religious care in 2016. So, my association with him for many years, the Teachers Association. So today, I'm happy to share the rest with sir. So, one of the president of Federation of University College Teachers Association. First, all the colleagues of the university. And Madam Shanti Vandarajan, actually myself and Shanti Vandarajan started my career. My career at the same college. So after I left, there was the institution. Okay. So Puja Aliyan Madam, Pradhan Sir, Ajay Ramurga, all the organizers, Ramesh, Santosh Rajput, Puja Sushma.
Sir, madam, the video
So today you organized one day national level online workshop on communication for global competence. So it's a very good initiative. After Kepa, who was principal of this institution, must have observed all the changes is actually and because that's what we used to do. So in college, even in our departments also, we used to organize many workshops, seminars, conferences, etc. Awareness and other things. So that is continuing here. I'm happy to say that at least our intention is to develop the students who are actually just preparing them for industry, preparing them for some organization. So that means they should match that requirement. Okay, so that's the reason why we are doing all this. So communication is one such area where people are lagging. Even though we actually work in Bangalore University, because almost all 90% students come from English medium, etc., but they were lagging in many areas. So communication actually is very important in anybody's career. So therefore, the language of actually it's a way of communication. Suppose if you do not have proper communication, definitely nobody will care. Because many people, even though they have got less marks, but they will be very good in communication. So such persons will be observed. So therefore, communication should be important. That's the reason why in this College of University earlier, Kannada was made compulsory. English was given option. So now from this academic requirements, that is English has been compulsory subject. So Kannada and other Indian language they can study because we are not preparing the students only for Kannada or Kannada. We are preparing for global. Because once the globalization took place, the entire world has become a single unit. So therefore, one cannot look into only the employment opportunities in this area at this scale. This we should prepare because once it has become a global village now. Once you graduate, that means if you have communication skills, if you have skills, and so that is it will be capable of getting your employment or job elsewhere also. That means suppose if you concentrate only in this state or this medium, you not get the good job and you will be frustrated and you will restrict only why I am telling all these things is because recently, 1 year back, when the central government recruited gangmen for railways, there were many almost MBA graduates, B graduates, funded for degree after the engineering and MBA graduates and even other technical graduates are appointed for gangman. The reason was that what does is that what does communication is proper. So therefore, they are not survived anyway. They will not get jobs. So therefore, they are satisfied only with gangman job. No, gangman means those are working in railways or putting lines, railways, etc. You can imagine why actually people are not capable of this. They don't have communication skills. They don't have in-depth knowledge in their subject. Okay, and inferiority, particularly the rural people, they have everything, the skills in everything, but they don't have communication skills. So therefore, they develop inferior complex. So that's the reason why for such workshops are very much essential to develop the communication skills. Because we have seen many students who are after graduation, they write applications for employment and other things. They don't know how to draft a letter. They don't know how to write a letter. So therefore, when you are not in a position to do this, how your employer will appoint you. So therefore, you please develop communication skills, writing skills. Okay, and also develop reading skills. So therefore, definitely it gives you the jump or other things, some type of confidence develops in you. So therefore, so communication skills is very important to achieve something. Because why I'm telling this, you must have observed that this airlines or even airplanes. That means you go to any nook and corner of the world, you find airlines. Why? Because they give importance for communication. Go anywhere. Okay, so they want the employee and they're leading good life. If you wanted to lead good life, wanted to enjoy your future, this thing, that means you should have skills. Okay, for example, in India, as per ICA report, only 10% of the graduates are employed. General graduates, 20% of Indian graduates are employed. Okay, so that means rest 80% and 90% are not employed with the skills. Now the recent NEP, so the national education policy, they have taken care of all these areas. So definitely once it is implemented, 100% I'm sure that so these loopholes will be plugged in that, and the future graduates are actually employable, and also future graduates have greater future. So therefore, but we not wait up to that time. But whatever the things which are available now, so at least we should adapt that and we should encourage our students and develop our students to meet the global challenge. So English language is one such area where suppose if you are fluent in English, if you are fluent not only in English, any other language. Okay, so you need not the English alone. Okay, so therefore, so definitely 100% you get some advantage over others. Okay, so shortly, probably next year or another year, we're kind of introducing some foreign languages in Rani Channappa University. Okay, because in Bangalore University, almost 8 to 10 foreign languages, French, Korean, Chinese, Japanese, then Spanish. Okay, so that means the graduates who are graduate and certificate course, 1 year, 2 years, we're offering degree diplomas and postgraduate also. So that means many, for example, Korea is Japanese, the Toyota is actually sponsored all the Japanese language. That means they pay salaries, they pay all the expenses. So that means once they graduate, they become graduates of Japanese language. So that means they are getting a good job not only in India, even abroad also. So therefore, I also thinking that once we move to our new campus, you may introduce some foreign language, at least start with 1 or 2 foreign languages. 1 or 2 foreign languages in the year, maybe next year or another year. So the place only our intent is you should create employment or at least you should create awareness. You should develop languages. If you don't have language, if you don't have other skills, so definitely you will not be employable. And that's where it's only medium jobs. So therefore, Pagoda Rayana College has taken the initiative in organizing 1 day national level online workshop and also offline workshop of communication skills for global competence. So I wish the college authorities and also the participants. Good luck. And also, I thank Dr. Shanti Varadarajan for accepting our invitation to be a part of this one-day online workshop. So thank you very much for the invitation. I wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. On behalf of Chennai University, Sangodarana First Grade Constituent College Department of English, we are fortunate to have distinguished guests among us, Dr. M.B. Hekiner, KPSC member, and Professor Srinivas Kaur, College Teachers Association, Chennai University, and Dr. M.B. Sangapur, ex-president, Karnataka University College Association, State Federation. As a mark of respect and affection, we would like to felicitate these distinguished guests among us.
On top back.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for the dignitaries for accepting our felicitation as a mark of respect. I would like to thank our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor M. Ramachandra Godasan, to be a part of this workshop today.
Tell the madam to rejoin. Tell the resource person to rejoin. Resource person. Resource person. Resource person already idare. ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ already ಇದ್ದಾರೆ.
Principal of this college and the program director, Mr. M. the coordinator of this online and offline workshop. My own is very dear colleague, Dr. Kavita. The vice principal of the college, Professor Anil Ram. All the colleagues of mine from Rajasthan University who are here in the organizing committee, and very aligned with you and students of Sanjay Narayana Constituent College, Manila. I'm very happy that I have been given a chance to act as a liaison between the delegates who have joined us from almost 6 states, I'm told, of the nation, and the topic that this program has been organized on. The topic is communication skills for global competence. And I must tell you that it's not long that we are almost reaching, or probably we have almost reached the ideal set by our old age-old philosophy of India. That is the belief in Vasudeva Kutumbakam. The whole world is a family. What does this statement mean? When the whole world becomes a family, we are continuously in communication with one another. And as Professor Ramchandra Vice Chancellor also stated in our speech, that this whole world has become one single village. We are now in a global village because of the scientific advancements that we have seen, because of the ongoing process of globalization that we are in, because of social information that we all are facing. Definitely, we are all one. In fact, this very workshop is the example. We are sitting in a college in Bengali, Karnataka, connecting with our resource person, Dr. Shanti Vandarajan, Professor Dr. Shanti Vandarajan, resource person, will be speaking to us in the regular session. Who is joining us from Bengaluru, and delegates from all over India. We are all meeting on a virtual platform. Virtual. Right? We are able to see each other, we are able to listen to one another, and there is a dissemination of knowledge that is happening in this educational institute. How is this possible? This is possible because of the network. Whatever happens today in some part of the world has a kind of butterfly effect everywhere. The coronavirus, the COVID-19 pandemic, is a brilliant example. It happened in November last year, right, in China, a small place in Wuhan. And look at its effect on the global scenario. Even we cannot face each other without mask. Right? So the effect has been tremendous, and we all have suffered in the entire globe. And today, we are all waiting for the single vaccine. Okay? And every R&D department, scientists all over the world are working hard for this vaccine. If we really hunt for the news in the newspapers, whether there are any vaccines that come out, because we just want to go away with the mask. We just want to be offline with people. We want to come together again without any vaccine. So this scientific knowledge sharing and experience sharing should happen. And how does it happen? What's the modus operandi? What is the main this knowledge? It is nothing but communication. If you are in a reality of communication skills over the global, right? Because today, if anything has to be evaluated, the pool of knowledge that we have gathered with ages across the globe can be put together and solutions can be found. If at all, when you look at the idea in your mind, how do you present it to the world? Ideas matter. Unless the ideas are channelized, they are presented to the world without communication. Definitely, your ideas will remain within you and live within you. They will not be the life of the. So communication is one traveling skill, one among the many. Of course, I am not saying that it is the only one. Many communication skills. Right? Today, when we are doing this project, one communication, we have our dear Santosh and Vikas, the entire technical staff, because of the edge we have through technology. The technology and communication skills, these are the important sources which will help you to connect in the workforce that we are going to face in the near future. I must say that our professors in Japan are being so visionary in trying to find this topic to be top for all of us. Because today's work are going to be prepared not for today's jobs. That's for prepared for decades ahead. And these decades ahead, I'm sure with the new normal setting because forward will be the time when communication skills are going to become indispensable. If you don't have communication skills, your ideas that you have, the learning that you have, will never be translated into points for you, points for your work, where you can get income. Very good example, very recent we had countries in Israel and you are pedagogics. Yes, a primary school teacher of example with a global impact. How is this possible? How is this possible? I saw his interview by Stephen Fry on YouTube. He has very good English and very good communication skills. He had an idea, he put it in practice, and he was capable of disseminating his idea and his skill in the whole world. If somebody didn't have the confidence, if somebody didn't have the communication, do you think he would have won the global award for India as well? Absolutely impossible. Therefore, the Indian landscape, the Indian politics coming to become a major player because we have the Prime Minister who is a great orator, who has command over language and who has command over. Today, India is on the map of the global spectrum because of the Prime Minister who is a strong community. These are examples, they are very close to us. Communication skills are very important. One is content, the other is the content. If you don't have, definitely you need to know how to speak. You will not know how to speak. So somebody wants to develop the right way. And you need to see that you are someone and updated every day with general knowledge, the world affairs that are happening around you. Even if you think with the world, is the world. Your content should be strong. And the second is your language. And how is right now? Of course, I can't speak about mother language because we have learned our mother language for a long time. We have got enough time. We have enough time. We had 1 year and 1 year to speak of hearing, and 2 years only for speaking. And then we started reading, and then we started translating. Probably 10 years it took for learning our mother language initially. And now you have to learn English in just a few years. And you have to learn all the courses. English, listening, speaking, reading, and writing, all that. Nobody can do that. Okay, I just speak English for 1 year, just listen. Next year you speak. Next year reading. No, it doesn't happen like that. Because you're not able to learn everything has to be done. So as communication, people think something in your head today, tomorrow you start speaking English. Not even I can do it. So your parents, they're very English because teachers. Unless you get to learn it, and you yourself, and then get a passion for the language and practice. So I'm speaking the practice that my communication is better and better. These students just listen to me, and communication will never be. You need to take your own responsibility to learn these skills. Until development and the practice the language are two basic. I think as for the training you taken over by Dr. Bruna, I'm very happy that I was given this platform. Give this instruction so that all familiar with the object of this workshop. Thank you so much, Dr. Sulaiman. Thank you, madam, for giving us awareness about the importance of communication skills as it is a need of the hour. Now, I request we need an 8 to 10 minutes break because continuously our students need for 8 to 10 minutes. But all of at least 8 to 10 minutes in one break. By Dr. Shanti.
The presidential remarks.
Good morning, everyone. So, as I and my first friends, so the one is KPC member, Professor Ilkal, and one more friend, Dr. Fayyaz Ahmed, the Rajasthan University College. One more friend, so my team, especially my team consists of our Kavita is the coordinator and Puja so is the introductory speech of this event and my entire team so the either Puja as well as Santosh as well as so we first and Loki and Alin and all other special students, all English department teachers and other teachers and my dear students. So today, so we are organizing national level online workshop and online workshop on communication skills for global competency. Regarding this, the introductory speech given by Puja. So in a very brief manner and very what is the importance of communication skills in the today's world. So today wherever you go there, communication skills is essential. Either earlier, so we are thinking about only in our area or in our level only. Then national level. Today, our village we treat it as global village. Wherever you go there, communication skill is essential. So regarding English communication, we now put a few words. So the India is the second largest country in English speaking. So compared to the other countries, English is the second largest country English speaking was. And even India is compared, so the RK Narayan said English is no more foreign language, it is a Swadeshi. Now we have Indian English. So you keep it in mind. So they always we go to Shakespeare and others, and at the same time our Indian, so the Indian novels as well as other things also very essential. And today our communications is very innovative for our education, for our science and technology, for our industries. So we have good knowledge and good communication. Then only we survive in the industry as well as in our daily life, in our daily record. So we can select this suitable topic communication skill for global competencies. Regarding this, we select good resource person. So the Dr. Shanti explain in brief. So yes, madam, by the time she is not only taking the college in our college, she is one of the British Council member, and wherever industries require the communication skills, wherever the other institutions require the communication skills and the certificate course in communication skills. All those things I did very well, and she is one of the kind and the senior professor, and she trained in ours also in various ways. So such a nice madam we selected for our today's resource person, and very useful to our students as well as our staff members in this regard. So once again I thank everyone for giving the opportunity, and whatever the program we organize one day level online and offline workshop on communication skill for global competencies. This is useful to everyone, and just we will be expressed in this speech. This is only awareness program. Suppose today the Sakadi Raina College will be create this awareness program. This type of program you can aware among yourself in a small group or wherever opportunities you can utilize the opportunities. So once again, I thank all my colleagues, especially my team. So this workshop team consists by Kavita, Pooja, as well as Suresh and Jyoti and Ramesh and Rashpur. All others, they have worked well, and today's program up to this level. And once again, I thank all my student friends. Suppose today is difficult to come to college, I know, because of clustering and others. So they are given the messages to at least local students who can attend the program. Majority of the students who also attending. So once again, I thank you very much. So
Thank you, sir. Now, may I request Mr. Sunil to propose for governance.
I'm Faculty Music Department of English, and being interested in the task of proposing a lot of things. Very outside. I express deep sense of gratitude to Professor Professor, Vice Chancellor, University of Belgavi, for gracing this occasion with presence. Next, I would like to thank our beloved principal sir, Professor M. Jayapur sir, Jayapur Sangadirayana Constituent College, Belgavi, and Special Officer Rani University for being instrumental in the conduct of this event. I would like to thank Mr. Pooja Madam, Assistant Professor, Department of Studies in English, Rani University, Belgavi, for being part of the event and blessing the occasion. Next on this is Program Convener, Dr. Kavita Puskal Madam, Assistant Professor, Department of Studies in English, Rani University, Belgavi. I thank the Madam for your constant and endless support in the conduct of this event. I would like to thank our Vice Principal, Assistant Professor, Music Department of Commerce, SRCC Belgavi, for encouraging and motivating us by all means to successfully complete this event. I would like to thank you expressly gratitude to Carolyn for organizing committee, technical support and colleagues for putting efforts and creativity for making projects and for putting for making this event.
Thank you for to deliver his notes. She has sent worksheets regarding the session. So the hard copies are already distributed among the students, and the soft copies she has sent are still on site on Telegram group. So kindly make use of them. Thank you. I request Rajan Madam to start her discussion.
ಮಾತಾಡಿಸ್ತೀವಿ కదా ಈಗ ಮೇಡಮ್ ಸ್ಪೀಚ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ
Can I begin?
Yes, please, ma'am.
But there's someone else's photo coming here.
Hello, madam.
Yes.
Madam,
Can I begin? Because are you all able to hear me?
yes, madam. We can hear you.
What about my audience, the students? Are you all able to hear me, dear ones?
Madam, 2 minutes.
Yes, I think that would.
Madam, 2 minutes. We will put
Fine. I'm ready to wait.
ಅಲ್ಲ ಯಾರು ಮಾತಾಡೋದು ಆ ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ ಮಾತಾಡೋದು ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಮೇಡಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲರಿ ಇದು ಸ್ಪೀಕರ್
Hello, madam.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine then. Thank you, Santosh and Kavita. Jyoti, I'm sorry.
Okay, madam. 1 minute. We are assembling students now.
Yes, you just tell me when I
Assembly.
need to start.
Hello.
Yes.
Red color shirt.
Santosh, if you don't mind,
Yes, ma'am.
can you just remove those chairs on the dais because that will come in the way.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Awesome.
That's okay. That's fine.
All of you, please maintain silence.
ಅದರ ಬೈಕ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕಂಪ್ಯೂಟರ್ ಕೊಡಕ
Right? Don't disturb.
Speaker playing.
5 states are observing, right?
Huh? Sir.
ಮೆಸೇಜ್ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ವಯಸ್ಸು ಮೆಸೇಜ್ ಹಾಕ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಬೇರೆ ವಯಸ್ಸು ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲಿ
You please tell me when I should begin. Okay.
Okay, madam.
Yes, can I?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You know, more than the video, the audio should be clear. Am I audible to all of you?
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Okay. Should I begin, Jyoti?
Earphone upon the Yes, ma'am.
Can I begin?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Hearty welcome, ma'am. You can please begin.
Yes, but then I see only Santosh Rajput on the screen.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, please only 2 minutes.
Continue.
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay.
We can hear, ma'am. We can hear. Please continue, ma'am.
No, but my screen has only Santosh Rajput in it. That's the problem.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, you are audible and voice is also clear. Please.
Okay, but then,
Ma'am.
oh God, you know that. Okay. Yes, it's my privilege and pleasure to be part of this online national workshop conducted by Rani Channamma University, Belagavi, precisely by the Department of English, Sangoli Rayana First Grade Constituent College. My heartfelt thanks to Dr. Ramachandra Gowda, the Vice Chancellor of Channamma University, to Dr. Jayappa, precisely, the principal of Sangoli Rayana College, for inviting me to be the resource person, to Dr. Kavita for coordinating with me, and to Dr. Jyoti for the technical support rendered. I'm immensely grateful to all of you. Is the screen clear? Can you all see the screen clearly?
Yes, ma'am. Make it full screen, ma'am.
Yes. Is it okay now? Oh God, what happened? 1 minute. I don't know why this person's Yes, is it clear now? Am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. Please go ahead.
Yes. The year 2020 has been a year of difference. There has been enormous.
Madam, please go with the screen. Yes, ma'am.
I'm talking. The year 2020 has been a year.
Yes, madam, you are audible.
With a lot of difference. Yes. There has been enormous setback in health and economy, but then certainly there has been phenomenal advancement in technology-enabled areas. And therefore, we have this online workshop giving us flexibility of space, time, and comfort. Now, the workshop will broadly be divided into 3 sections. The first section would would focus on the need for this kind of the workshop now. The second section will talk about the components of communication. And in the third section, we would discuss certain areas of communication that require to be remedied and refined. I hope I've made myself clear about the objectives and the different sections of the workshop. Now, why this workshop at the current setting, and what is its relevance to today's setting? Both Dr. Ramachandra Gowda, the Vice Chancellor of your university, and Dr. Jayappa, the Principal of the college, rightly advocated the development of communicative skills for all of us, particularly for the rural students. And workshops of this kind are the need of the hour. English undoubtedly is the most dominant link language of the world. And learning English is the need of the time. That cannot be denied. There has been an ever-increasing demand for teaching and learning of English in most of the non-native countries of the world. In fact, countries like Japan and China, who had their reservations about learning English, have started learning English now. But what is noteworthy about this demand is the fact that it's more a demand related to learners' needs and requirements. Even up to late 1970s, when I was a student in college, a great majority of the courses that were offered in the English curriculum mainly focused on English as a content subject in arts education. Content subject is a subject like history or economics, when you learn certain areas. We had poems. We had poems of Wordsworth, we had poems of Coleridge, Keats, Shelley. We had plays of Shakespeare. In fact, every student of English had to study a play of Shakespeare. But then, English was never considered a skill to be acquired. Therein comes the difference. We've always thought of English as a content subject, as I said earlier, like economics or as physics, chemistry, with a lot of lessons to be learned. But language learning is a skill, and it has to be acquired. From the 1980s onward, the generalized English as foreign language provision has been declining in most of the countries. And instead, there is a demand now for functional English and English for specific purpose. This is because we, the non-native users of English, we use English for purposes that are quite different from the purposes with which it was originally introduced. Originally, English was introduced as a content subject, but now it is used as a skill that we need to acquire. I wonder from where this red spot has come. English in the non-native world is used more for functional purpose for specific purpose, for pragmatic purpose, for utilitarian grounds. We don't want to learn English to learn about the English culture. We want English to gain global competence. And that's the purpose of this workshop. Not the purpose, I could say that it just gives you a glimpse of what we can do. So in India too, the approaches to the study of English language have been changing continually over the years in accordance with the needs of the learners. Until recently, English was learned. Excuse me, can you just tell me from where this WH has come into my presentation? Until recently, English was learned. We needed English. The Indians needed English mainly as a link language amongst ourselves. For example, if a Kannadiga, if a person from Karnataka wanted to communicate with someone from the Uttar Pradesh or from Maharashtra, English was a link language. That is all. English was a link language amongst our own nationals, amongst Indians. Now, we also learned English to gain scientific and technological information for our all-round development. We were required to read books, to read journals and articles in English to update ourselves. English, therefore, was mainly a library language, and English language teaching focused on the structure of English and its use. For example, areas of grammar, how the English language was constructed, the syntax, the semantics. But with the advent of globalization, our demands on the language have been increasing in our non-native Indian setting. English is mainly now the language of survival. Please understand this, my friends. Without English, our survival, our livelihood will come to a stop. It's not just learning English, but learning English to be able to communicate with the extended world. You see 3 circles on the screen. Are those 3 circles clear? You have the inner circle when we used English within our state. People in Karnataka used English just as a link language. We moved on to the outer circle when English was used as the national link language. Now we move on to the expanding circle where we need to communicate in English with the non-native users of English. So those are the 3 circles. How we have been using English in the past, present, and the future expansion also. With liberalized economy introduced in the last 2 decades, and with the opening of foreign markets in India, there are several reasons. Globalization, the IT revolution of the 1990s, emigration to the land of one's dreams. How many students here want to go abroad to pursue your higher studies? You'd like to go to the UK, you'd like to go to the US, Canada, the land of dreams now. People would like to settle themselves in Canada, in Australia, for better prospects, for better lifestyle, for better standard of living. So we have chosen other countries as our lands of our dreams. There are societal pressures. Our family, our society compels us to go abroad. Our friends, they influence and ask us to go abroad for higher studies. The call centers, the flush of BPOs, the business process outsourcing, bridging the gap with the younger generation, even the older people in our family would like to talk to their grandchildren in English because they feel that they would be considered young. They would be able to understand the minds of the young generation. And simply to arrive in society. What is arriving in society? Unfortunately, friends, knowledge of English stands as a symbol of one's education and modernity. We think that if someone is able to communicate in English well, he is a modern person. So it is because of this utilitarian value of English that we Indian users have made it a language more of choice. And therefore, we need to use the variety of English effectively to fulfill our modern communication functions. Am I making myself clear so far? Are you all able to understand me? Am I clear? I assume I'm clear because I have no, chat messages to say that I'm not audible. Indians are now compelled to learn English, not only as a nationality.
Yes, madam, please go on.
Yes, Indians are now compelled to learn English as a national linked language, but chat messages to say that I am not audible. Indians are now compelled to learn English, not only as a nationality, but also as a means of international communication as well. So we need, can someone stop that echo, please? There's my voice coming up as an echo, and that seems to be a barrier to me. So we need to compel ourselves to be able to use English at the outer level, the expanding circle, where we need to communicate with the native users as well. But when the native speaker's language competence is natural, that's their first language, they acquire it at their mother's laps. Just as we learn our native language, our first language, our mother tongue, as it is called, it comes naturally to us. But English is the other tongue. It's not our mother tongue. And therefore, we have to acquire it, learn it, and make it functional. So this English, the English that we learn, it has a large range of functions to realize at the national level and at the global level. So first, it has to fulfill linguistic uniformity. Within India, there should be one variety that all of us understand. Obviously, it's the variety which is used by the media. When we switch on NDTV or CNN, You listen to a variety of English that is comprehensible, that's intelligible to all Indians and to other people as well, to native users as well. So we need to achieve this linguistic uniformity, and we need to achieve communication competence also when it is used for an international audience. So we, as part of the academia, I'm addressing the teachers of English here, the principals of colleges, when we as part of the academia, therefore, we need to recognize these immediate functions of English at the national level and at the international level, and realize that the current challenge which is faced by the users of English to make themselves intelligible to a global audience can be addressed and redressed only by an effective English language teaching program. So, we need to equip our learners by constantly having this in mind. Now, once this is achieved, once we are able to achieve this competence, I said, Communication for Global Competence, which is the title of the workshop, can be slightly modified to Competence for Global Communication, English Competence for Global Communication. How do we achieve this competence for global communication? We are therefore in immediate need of pedagogical programs to improve the competence level of our students, of ourselves also, and enable our learners to progress accordingly to meet not only their national requirements, but their international requirements also. So, with this in mind, let's move on to the second section of my workshop. No, I would just call it a talk with you. What are the aspects of communication? Have I made myself clear regarding the need for such a workshop and why we need to gain competence for global communication? We need to gain competence in English in order to be able to communicate globally at all levels. Could be in business, could be for studies, could be for even settling ourselves there, which most people would like to do nowadays. So that is clear. We now move on to the next part of the talk, which is, what is communication? What do we mean by communication? What are the skills of communication? What do we do when we communicate? We seem to be creating and sharing ideas. We form ideas in our mind and we want to share those ideas. Ideas can be anything, a piece of information. So, communication essentially is the art. That's why we call it a skill, communication skill. And that's why we realized that English, which was used as a content subject once upon a time, is now being learned as a skill to learn. See, when we learn, what are the other skills that we learn in life? Culinary skill, the skill of cooking, driving skill. Swimming is a skill. Dance is a skill. Music is a skill. Performance, theater is a skill. But when we learn these skills, do we learn them only in theory? When you're required to learn driving, do you just study the technicalities of driving and then do you begin to drive? No, you are on the driver's seat, the steering wheel before you, the clutch, the brake, the accelerator, a guide sitting next to you, and you are on the road when you drive, when you learn driving. When you learn culinary skill, you do it, and it is by doing, by practicing, that you learn the skill. When you learn music, Sari Gama Pada Ni. I come from a music family. So, when we learn music, we sing, and then the teacher tells us where we go wrong. Is the Shruti right? Are we singing melodiously? The voice, all this matters. But when we learn English, unfortunately, when we are supposed to learn English as a skill and not as a content subject, you just learn it in theory. This is grammar, adverb, adjective, conjunction, articles, tense. And tense is an area in grammar that would make us tense. So we should realize that communication is the art of creating, sharing ideas by doing it. We should learn the language only by using the language, not by learning it through books. Now, effective communication depends on the richness of those ideas, and what you want to share depends on how you would like to share it. It depends on the other person also. Now, when we talk of communication as a skill or even communication by itself, it is not a one-way process. I cannot learn communication sitting before the laptop. Even when I read aloud, I'm communicating to myself. There is communication going on, and communication is always more than one-way process. Sometimes it's two ways, sometimes it's even more than that. Effective communication is always with another person. Now, when I communicate with you, with my friends here, my young friends here, I'm able to communicate from my side, and then I expect a certain response. So therefore, what is communication? Communication is getting our desired response. Desired has been underlined. Why? When we communicate in any way whatsoever, when you crack a joke, you expect the audience to laugh. Imagine me sharing a joke with y'all and all of you sitting quietly. My communication has not been effective then because I've not been able to make you laugh. And that was the purpose in sharing the joke with you. So my desired response in making you laugh has been defeated. And I wonder, where have I gone wrong? Why didn't they laugh? Similarly, when I write a letter, perhaps when one of you, I'm talking to my student friends here, when one of you wants to write a letter of leave application, a letter asking for, some leave from someone, from your principal, maybe for a week, since you have to attend your sister's wedding, your brother's wedding. You expect the principal to give you permission. So that is what is desired response. But if something goes wrong in the letter, your principal will not grant you leave. If something goes wrong with the way you've written it, definitely the response is not what we have desired. And communication here is ineffective, or there has been no communication at all. It has proved negative. So there is a wide gap between the message intended, the purpose of communication, and the message conveyed, which is what you get as a response. Now, when we talk of perspectives in communication, perception, grahike, what you understand from communication, you have the visual. An artist is able to convey something through the art. Language, definitely, the words that you use. When we speak, it's language that conveys. That's one area of perception in communication. Voice, tone, wonderful. The voice in which someone is able to convey plays a tremendous role in communication. When we talk of voice, voice is important not only for a singer, voice is important for anyone, for all of us. And the tone is absolutely important, because if I am happy, what do I say? I'm extremely happy to be with all of you. I won't say, I'm extremely happy to be with all of you. My tone conveys my sadness. My tone conveys my disappointment. But my words are right. Unfortunately, my voice and my tone don't match the words that I use. So, voice and tone are very important. And when we talk of perception, that perception is always, just as they say, two sides to a coin. There are two perceptions to this picture that you see before you. I wonder how clear the picture is, but one perception would be, the immediate perception would be the old lady looking sidewards, looking to her right. But then the other perception would be a young girl, the back of a young girl, and her hair flowing on her back with a cap on her. Similarly, we have perceptions. When art can give us perceptions, and two diagonally opposite perception, as you see in this picture, so can language, so can communication. It gives us diagonally opposite perceptions by the language we use, the words we use, our tone, and something more. When we talk of visual perception, the picture that we saw earlier, there is more than one way to see the picture, to perceive, to understand the picture, to interpret the picture. And similarly, there is usually more than one way to understand any situation we encounter. And when I say situation, I'm talking about the communication in the situation that we encounter or we face. Now, Remember again, friends, communication hitherto was only with our own people with whom we shared a cultural understanding and context. But then it's not stopping there. We are required to communicate with an international audience who don't share our cultural understanding. And therefore, the challenge that we face with the language is becoming increasing. Now, when there are mistakes in perceptions, what are the mistakes that we make? We jump into conclusions. Oh God, this should be the idea. I'm sure. A teacher comes to class and then she says, I'm going to do some grammar exercises with you. But then the way she puts it, I'm going to do some grammar exercises with you. She is already sleepy. So you jump to conclusions. You say, my God, it's going to be boring. Unstated assumptions about the other beliefs and intentions. Sometimes the assumptions that you make within yourself about the other person's intentions. The teacher has come with a good intention to take a class, but you have your own assumptions that it's going to be a boring class. Stereotyping. You've always found her classes boring. So you know, oh, she cannot. You've stereotyped her. You've generalized her classes. That day, perhaps, she would have prepared herself well. She would have had a lot of hopes to make the class well. But then that stereotyping, no, this cannot be good. I don't know how many of you have stereotyped this online workshop and the way I'm conducting it. Stereotyping is common with all of us. We have our own beliefs. Assuming that the audience has the knowledge or capacity to understand the message. This is something that I could be making. I would assume that what I talk to you would be intelligible to you. Okay, these are students. They know that they need to learn English. They have that knowledge and they have the capacity to understand my message. No, as I could assume wrong. So I will have to understand the audience, not assume them. So when I communicate, I should have some idea about what the audience would want. So when I conduct this workshop, I will have to be doubly sure that the audience understands me and is able, I won't say appreciate, tolerate the workshop perhaps. Now, what are the elements of communication? What are the broad areas? 7% spoken words, 38% voice and tone, 55% body language. This is with personal communication, friends. But now, with this online communication, when I'm just in one little corner of your screen, I would change the elements of communication. This is elements of personal communication. When you talk to a person and not wearing your mask, but then at least last year, hopefully next year too, when we talk to people, our spoken words contribute only 7%. More than what we say, voice, tone, how we say matters a lot. I don't say that we can dispense with what we say, but the voice, the tone, body language plays a tremendous role in communication. Now, of course, particularly with online gaming, emergence, with online workshops emerging, I think I will have to reframe this and say 55% for voice and tone, because I'm able to communicate with y'all only with my voice and the tone that I use. I need to be audible, and I depend a lot on the technical support which is offered to me by Dr. Jyoti and Mr. Santosh. But for them, my communication would be lost. So 55% depends on voice and tone. 38% would be the words that I use. My words matter a lot. And it's only 7% body language, because in online communication, body language recedes. Unless perhaps you are on the full screen, then we have to be extra cautious about our body language. Now, when we talk of communication, barriers of communication, yes, we experienced this morning when the audio would not cooperate, and there were messages on chat repeatedly to the technical section saying not clear, voice breaking, so on and so forth. So this is from the technical barrier that could arise, the barrier that could arise because of technical inadequacy, anything. But then there could be other barriers also. When one mumbles, suppose I say something like this, can you understand me? Did you understand anything that I said a minute ago? No, because my voice was very low. Unless I raise my voice and I try to ensure that my audience understands what I say, barriers. Barriers could be external noise also. You don't hear because there is a lot of noise around, and then you have to be extra alert to wear a headphone, perhaps if it's an online workshop of this kind, or close the doors and windows in a classroom if there is noise from outside. Ask the teacher to speak loudly, all these. Sometimes the barriers could be within ourselves. Why blame the external factors? I'm not in a mood. The barrier is within me. The barrier is in my mind. I'm not inclined to attend this workshop. It's only because of Dr. Kavita and Dr. Jayappa who have compelled me that I am here. I'm not saying this. Could be from one of you. Some of my student friends may be telling, oh God, it's 12:25. There are other things to do. Why sit and listen to this workshop? It's so boring. So the barriers, you have put a barrier, you have raised a fort on your ears to say, I don't want to listen. You're not inclined to listen. You have set up your barrier. Or perhaps there has been something that's upsetting your mind. Not that you don't want to listen, you don't want to attend the workshop, but something has gone wrong. Your health indisposed. You have a headache. You're not inclined. You're unable to concentrate. That could be a barrier. Or perhaps your parents have scolded you. Some problem within your mind that is upsetting. That could be a barrier to communication too. If there are barriers that could be dispensed with, dispense them and try to have your mind here. Now, just as we spoke about voice and tone, there's another very important area in communication, which is the body. The body is the mirror of our feelings. If the eyes are the windows, nowadays, when we wear masks, your eyes have to doubly perform the functions of the mouth as well. When we smile, generally, we smile with our mouth, a little with our eyes, but now with masks all over, the eyes have to be the windows of the soul. The body becomes the mirror of our feelings, and that takes us to body language. Body language, we have different signals in body language. Fortunately for me, in this online workshop, I don't get to see your body language, because perhaps if I see your body language, that might dissuade me completely. Oh God, this is the response. Because we convey a lot through our body, particularly in a classroom. You know, it is close to lunchtime. Your lunchtime may be 1 o'clock or 1:30, and the teacher with all enthusiasm goes on and on and on and on, and it's close to 1:30. You feel grouchy, you feel hungry, but the teacher continues, and then you keep looking at your watch. When you look at the watch, it's a signal to the teacher to say, hey, stop. You can't say it in words, but then you convey it in body language. We convey, I just gave you an instance which happens frequently in class, and that's why I was able to relate to this, which all of us face. But then, when it comes to components of body language, proxemics. Proxemics is how close you are to the person. Physical distance matters a lot. Sometimes we maintain our physical distance with people. Sometimes we go close to them. If we are close to them, we go close to them too. Our appearance plays a major role, how we are dressed, how we appear to be. That also conveys, that's also a communicator. The body as such, you know, the posture, facial expressions, the tone of voice, how friendly we are. Is there a smile in our voice? Very, very essential for teachers to develop a smile in their voice, even if someone is able to just hear you and not see you in person. Should be that warmth, that friendly nature in your voice that perhaps endears the class to you, the audience to you, the other person to you. And then eye contact, which is very important. Luckily for me, now in this workshop, there's no eye contact whatsoever. Otherwise, you know, when you talk to the other person, when you look at a person in their eyes and then talk, then you convey that you're being honest, you're being truthful. When a person hesitates to look at another person on the eyes, it means he's hiding something. Have you done it? No, I have not. Would be a straightforward person, just looking at the eye and telling it. No, I have not. A diffident person who is not sure of himself, who is timid, who is scared. There are, of course, I don't know how clear this PPT is on the screen, but then, you know, different body signals. The way you sit also conveys when you're cross-legged, when you're open, and when you're diffident. Maybe when we meet in person, all these can be made more relevant. So body postures in general, standing or sitting in a relaxed professional manner, being comfortably upright, and evenly distributing your weight, which means on the chair if you're sitting. If you're able to sit comfortably, it means you feel comfortable. Sometimes a person would be sitting at the edge of a chair. Perhaps when you watch a horror movie, I do it. When I watch a horror movie, I get scared and I sit on the edge of the seat and try to close my eyes without anything. My gestures would convey that I'm scared. But then when non-verbal signs to communicated by moving the trunk of your body to change mood, draw attention. Sometimes you see people swaying themselves always. That could be very distracting. Imagine a teacher always continually swaying in class. The body language becomes a barrier. No wonder how well the lecture is and how relevant the content of her lecture is. The swaying puts a barrier. You concentrate more on the swaying rather than on what is conveyed. So the message conveyed is totally distorted, and the message which is intended does not reach. So communication, when it comes to communication, body language is very, very essential, even in an office setting for that matter. When you're talking to your client or when you're talking to your superior at the office, to your manager, you need to sit confidently, not too confident to slouch and then have an overbearing posture, but then to be able to convey that, yes, you can ask me what you want to, and I'm here, well informed about my duties and responsibilities of the post that I'm holding. So that sense of confidence and rapport is established by the way we sit. And then, see, a slumped posture, low spirits. Oh, I feel very sad today. This is what has happened. So immediately, I won't say I feel very sad today and have an erect posture. It doesn't match. A slumped posture, low spirits. Erect posture, energy, confidence. You lean forward. Sometimes this morning I was trying to do it many times when, when you had the inaugural address and I couldn't listen, I couldn't hear, rather. I tried to lean forward because I was interested. So that shows that you are interested. When you lean forward, you have an open mind and your interest is visible. Lean away. I don't want to listen. So you just go back, which means enough. I hope you're not doing it right now. Crossed arms. You are on the defensive. Come on, tell me. What is it that you want me to do? Uncrossed arms, willingness to listen. So these are, it would be good. Just a moment, my battery is running low. Yes. And then, yes, I only hope I'm audible. I assume I'm audible. Now, we go on to the basic areas of communication. We have learned the components of communication. That there is body language, there is language by itself, voice, tone, the way we sit. And we also realize that there is a gap sometimes between what we intend to convey and what we have actually conveyed. We'll do that as part of the workshop. But basic areas of communication, as all of you know, are listening, speaking, reading, writing, LSRW, as we call it in ELT. Out of this, why do, listening and reading are called receptive skills? Because when you listen, you receive information. When you read, you receive information. Speaking and writing, on the contrary, are productive skills. You speak, which means you deliver. You are creative. You deliver. And then writing again. You create ideas and you deliver them. So they are creative skills. Now, when you talk of listening, very often, as Dalai Lama says, when you talk, You are only repeating what you already know. But if you listen, you may learn something new. How many of us do it in our daily lives? When there is a group discussion, we want to listen, we want to talk more than to listen more. Many of us are under the wrong assumption that communication is only when we talk. No, friends. Communication is more when we listen. Because when we listen, we learn something. And we are able to respond in the right manner. So, listening is important. But again, what is active listening? Active listening is, see, there is a major difference between hearing and listening. Have you all realized it? Even as you try to listen to what I say, you may be hearing a lot of sound. We hear a lot because we have a pair of functional ears. There may be a car, a car plying on the road. Very often we hear the ambulance flying on the road these days. We may hear the chirping of birds if you're sitting close to the window. You may be hearing someone talking in the living room if you have other people at home and you are removed to a corner. So hearing is automatic, but listening is voluntary. Hearing is involuntary, listening is voluntary. And active listening is when you apply your mind also to what is being said. So there is a wide difference between listening and hearing. Most people do not listen with the intent to understand. They listen with the intent to reply. Stephen Covey has rightly said this. We don't want to understand. When we listen, we are jumping with our own ideas and we want to reply. I don't want to understand you. I want to reply to whatever you have said. And therefore, communication could be disrupted because what you reply may not relate to what they have said. You've not taken the pain to understand their message correctly. And therefore, your reply does not relate to what the other person has said. So, I'm rushing through all this because I need enough time for the workshop. So common mistakes in active listening would be parroting. What is parroting? Just to repeat whatever the other person has said. The beach is my favorite place to go and relax. And then the other person says, oh, you like the beach best. That's all. So this is what I understood. No. You have to understand a little more. That is, pay attention. As I told you, I'm just... Now, when we come to listening, let's just understand that listening occupies the first area of communication. Listening, speaking, reading, and writing. Listening comes first because even God decided that. He gave us a pair of ears, but only one mouth. To say, speak only half, but listen as many times as possible. The quantity of listening should be much more, at least double than what we speak. And let us go on to speaking. When it comes to speaking, pronunciation is very, very, very important. Again, go back to the 3 circles that I discussed with you at the beginning of this talk. Initially, we were using English with our own people. If I belong to Bangalore, maybe I was using English with my own friends in Bangalore, so they understood me. The second circle came in when I needed to use my English or use English as a link language with someone staying abroad, staying in the north, in another region. So that is the second circle. Now we are moving to the expanding circle where I need to use English not with people who are using it as a second language, but I am required to use English with people who use it as their native language. Imagine a person from the UK using Kannada, coming to Belagavi, coming to your college and talking in Kannada. Look at the challenge that he would face. His first language is English. He has acquired Kannada and then he's talking to you. Pronunciation could be, so pronunciation is a premium when it comes to speaking. I'll just give you some examples that perhaps I have faced. Individual sound. We have a kiss contest in our college. How distorted the communication is. Instead of quiz contest, the person here says, we have a kiss contest in our college. And then the other person wonders, oh, we have such contests also. How many do we have? The participants would have outnumbered the audience if it's a kiss contest. So here, communication is distorted. So we should realize when communication is delayed and when communication is distorted. In this context, communication is totally distorted. Look at the second example. Ram is always first in our class. First in our class. First in our class. First in our class. First. Ram is always first in our class. Not fast, not ah. But there are many people who say Ram is always first in our class. In the context, perhaps, even then, there is that temporary confusion. He's always first in class. I thought he was first in class. So in the second, there is temporary confusion. But in the first example, there is total confusion. The confusion, it is distorted. That's just with individual sounds. In fact, this can go for a workshop altogether, but then I will have to restrict. Stress at the word level. Let us present the chief guest for this morning. Present. Present is right, with the stress on the first syllable. Let us present the chief guest for this morning. Present is introduce. But when I say let us present, what happens? I seem to be giving him a present. Presenting is introducing. Present is gifting, giving a present. So again, there is a temporary distortion. Miss Divya is our new wise principal instead of wise principal. Word W sound is something which is often interchanged. I love my mother is wrong. I love my mother. Whenever there is a V sound, you will have to say f. Slight, the first sound. I love my mother. I love my teacher. I love my friends. F. Here, Miss Divya is our new wise principal, which means, wasn't the earlier principal wise enough? Wise, it causes distortion. Miss Divya is our new vice principal. Vice. Vice is the assistant to the principal. Wise would be to be knowledgeable. Let us pass this workshop for some time. Let us pass this workshop. Pass meaning, okay, I will just leave this workshop. But what the speaker wanted to say was, let us pause this workshop for some time. Pause. Pause with a long sound, not pass. There are any number of examples, but unfortunately, there's no time. Now, again with individual sounds, I'm just giving you certain examples to be able to give you some competence, as I told you initially, for global communication. English competence for global communication, that's how I have reworded the workshop. Now, sounds of words ending with AGE. When you say AGE, age by itself, it's age. We have the age. But then, when AGE ends a word, you have the age sound. For example, garbage, baggage, luggage, marriage, cabbage, carriage. There's a lot of garbage around. I'll have to carry my baggage. Where's the luggage? My marriage is a big success. I need some cabbage to eat. The carriage is waiting for you. See, all this, when I say garbage, when I say baggage, when I say luggage, when I say marriage, when I say cabbage, when I say carriage, I'm intelligible to my people. A person in India may be able to understand when I say garbage, baggage, luggage. But when I talk to a native user, he might wonder what garbage is because he says it as garbage. Similarly, you have a lot of difference in pronunciation between these pairs of words. But unfortunately, they are pronounced the same in the Indian context. Signs. It's a language of signs and science. What do? What subjects what stream have you taken? I have taken science, not signs. Signs are symbols. Tire and tear. Tire is when your tire in the car goes flat. You have a flat tire. Tier is when you book your tier in a train. I would like to go in a 3-tier compartment. It's not 3-tier, but 3 tiers. The berth, as we call. Content and content. Content is when you're satisfied. Content would be when what goes into something. For example, in this workshop, the contents are content, meaning what is contained in the workshop. Content is to be satisfied. So I can't say the content of this workshop. I can't say I'm satisfied with the workshop. It definitely creates temporary confusion. Project and project. You project something. You project your image by your body language, by the words you use. You do a project. A project is very often in colleges, students are required to do projects, studies, researches. The earlier example, present and present. Present is to introduce, present is to give a present. And then comment, comment. Very often these are confusing. Comment is when I comment on the workshop, when I pass my remarks. I comment is precisely a verb. Comment. What are your comments on the workshop? What are your remarks on the workshop? That's more a question of, verb and noun anyway. Now, when you talk of speaking again, please remember, students, that English is a stress-timed language, unlike our Indian languages that are syllable-timed. Stress-timed is when each word needs to be stressed in a different way. Let's just rush this through as quickly as possible. I didn't say you were stupid. When I say I didn't say, perhaps there was someone else who said you were stupid, but I didn't. I didn't say you were stupid. I didn't say. No. I didn't say. No, I didn't say it. I didn't say you were stupid. Perhaps I wrote you were stupid. I didn't say it. I didn't say you were stupid. I didn't say you were stupid. Perhaps I said X was stupid. I didn't say you were stupid. I didn't say you were stupid. Perhaps you are stupid even now. I didn't say you were stupid. No, I was just joking, but then these are the different ways. I didn't say you were stupid. I only said you were good, dumb perhaps. I didn't say you were stupid. No, don't worry. That was not what I meant. So each of these stresses convey a different meaning, and that has to be taken care of too. Now, speaking to some extent, that's all that I could do in this short workshop. But then we go on to reading, which is next. In reading, why do we read? We read to understand. We read to learn. We read to understand, yes, the news. We want to know what is happening around us, so you read the newspapers to understand. You read to learn when we read our textbooks, when we read a research topic. That's with an intention to learn. We read to interpret. When we understand, we also interpret. We make some judgments out of it. We read to apply. We not only learn to understand, we also read to practice certain things, to apply our reading to practice. We read to relax. When I read a novel, I don't want to interpret the novel. I don't want to apply it. I just want to read as a means of relaxation. We read to entertain, to get ourselves, it's as a pastime. Reading is my hobby, people say. Reading is my, relaxation, or entertainment would be more than relaxing, to keep myself in a happy mood. That's all. I'm not touching more on reading because, we can't have a workshop on reading online when I can give you passages and ask you what you can understand. But then, writing is something which requires a lot of importance because I told you writing and speaking are given a little more focus in this workshop because they are the productive skills, something that comes out of us. Grammar, very important when we write, because when a sentence is grammatically incorrect, there could be a lot of distortion in communication. Coherence, I'll give you a sample of coherence. Coherence is the flow in which a sentence is uttered, a passage. When I'm required to talk to the students, as I'm doing right now, there should be a flow, there should be a coherence. When someone asks you something as simple as, tell me about your morning routine, definitely we would start with the time we wake up. Oh, you want to know my daily routine? I wake up perhaps around 5:30, and then I do my exercise, I have my cup of coffee, and then, that's the coherence. Coherence begins. I won't say, oh, you want my daily routine? Then I go to bed at 10 o'clock. In the evening, I relax. I wake up at 5. There's no coherence at all. The other person wonders, my God, what? Begins with night and then goes on to the morning. There's no flow. So that is essentially coherence. And that's something to be taken care of in speaking and in writing for effective communication. Cohesion is the words that we use to derive that coherence. Words like although, in addition to, perhaps, for example, all these are words that signal to the other person. When I talk about, when I say, Bangalore has always been a garden city. However, so when I use the word however, the listener understands or anticipates a contrary statement. However, now it's become a garbage city. It was once a garden city. However, so that however is the link word, which enables the listener to be prepared for a contrary statement. I can't say Bangalore was a garden city, however, it is beautiful now. The person will wonder, my God, however, I thought there would be a contrary statement. This person says, however, it is beautiful now. No. Then the cohesive device that I have used is wrong. I delay communication. Syntax, the sentence structure. Punctuation, very important. Unfortunately, students, this area of writing can be a full day workshop, but then I'm required to give all these things in a capsule form. Yes, now when we talk of punctuation, this is what I do. Look at the punctuation here. I hope it's clear before you on your device. A woman without her man is nothing. How? Male chauvinism at its height. Without her man, a woman is nothing. A woman, perhaps I'm not an activist, but I'm one for gender equity. I just change the punctuation and I give a contrary statement. A woman without her, man is nothing. You're talking about a woman. Without her, man is nothing. So this is essentially what punctuation can do. As much as voice, tone, when I say a woman without her man is nothing. Look at the voice. A woman without her man is nothing, trivial. But then there's another tone. A woman without her man is nothing. So the voice and the tone change here. So what voice and tone does to speaking, punctuation does to writing. And then you have, we were talking of coherence. Look at this advertisement. Ladies' sale. An ideal opportunity to dispose of items you want to. Do come with your husbands. What does it mean? It talks about a sale for ladies, but the title says ladies' sale, as if ladies are on sale. And the extension of the advertisement is more devastating. An ideal opportunity to dispose of items you want to. There are a lot of items to be discarded at home. Bring all those items. Here is an ideal opportunity. Do come with your husbands. Are husbands disposable items? But then, very funny. This is how coherence works or has not worked It should be sale for ladies. An ideal opportunity to dispose of items you want to. And why do come with your husbands? That sentence can be dispensed with. We don't want that sentence at all. Probably the marketing person here wanted to say that if you come with your husband, perhaps you have more luggage to carry. It can be evenly distributed. He might also want to dispose of some, and you come with your husband to help you, not to be disposed of. So this broadly ends two aspects, two sections of the workshop. And we just have, do I have some more time on me? Yes, we will quickly run through the worksheets. I hope you've got your worksheets with you. Do you have your worksheets with you? We will quickly run through those worksheets to understand what could delay communication or what could distort communication. Am I making myself clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it clear, Jyoti? Because
Yes,
I have no interaction with the audience, unfortunately. And, in a workshop, I'd love to interact with the audience.
Students are here, ma'am, and all are having their worksheets.
Okay. No, have they understood whatever I have been telling so far?
Yes.
Has the communication been clear, audible?
Yes, ma'am, it was very clear and audible.
Thank you, Jyoti and Santosh. Hats off to you.
Thanks
a lot. Yeah.
Thank you.
Now we'll quickly run through. Do I have half an hour on me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, quickly. I'll do a quick job. Don't worry.
Yeah, what they should do.
Yes. Do they have their worksheets? Collocations was something that I had distributed as the first worksheet. Can I go ahead, Jyoti?
Yeah, ma'am. Ma'am, you can make presentation full screen. That slide share, that is presentation full screen. Not here, ma'am. At the right hand corner, ma'am. That is yeah, here. This one. Yeah, here.
Now, is it still not very clear? Because I'm able to get all of you. That's why.
It's okay, ma'am.
Something since they have it on their hands, Jyoti.
Yeah, just you can zoom it.
Okay, I think I've gone to the wrong.
No, it's correct, ma'am. It is audible, but just if you zoom it, it will be seen in a bigger screen.
Ma'am, on the right side corner at the bottom, there is one button over there. You can see.
The view, it says one is full screen. Yes. Now
full screen.
Has it made any difference now?
You have to once again share it, ma'am.
Yeah. I'll share it. Don't worry.
Share your screen, ma'am.
Yes. Now
at the bottom, right side bottom, ma'am.
Yeah. Right side, yes.
At the bottom.
No, I don't think it helps, but I'm able to see the screen completely.
Of course, you can see, ma'am, but the audience are not able to.
Yes, ma'am. Please continue. Ma'am. We can see it. Please continue, ma'am.
Can you all see? Because it's only your faces that come. Okay. Anyway, do they have the worksheets with them? I will try to, for me,
Madam,
this is a problem.
Madam?
Yes, please.
At the right hand bottom of your screen.
Yes.
You are able to see the 39%.
I can't see any percent here. I can see only Jyoti's face, Santosh's face, and Dr. Fayyaz Ahmed, who has his, fixed DP there, nothing more.
Madam,
Yes.
you go to the presentation, madam.
Start, madam. Continue. The students have worksheets. You can continue, ma'am.
Yes, I think I will start sharing.
Are also shared. You can continue, madam.
Yes. Okay. Right. Now, when we talk of collocations, collocations are fixed expressions. You know, they go together. The first example, if you can hear me, students, the first example that I have given here, I like Belagavi weather because the air is dash and pleasant. And I've given you 4 options. It should be, what should it be? It can't be cold. It can't be gusty. I've underlined cool because the air is cool and pleasant. Air can't be bright. Air can't be wild and pleasant. Wild is windy. So the best option would be cool and pleasant. So this is something that we call collocation. When my friend lost his grandfather, I expressed my dash condolence to him. Very often we say hearty. Hearty is wrong. Hearty condolence, they don't match. They are not collocated. Heartfelt condolence. Hearty means hearty congratulations. You are hearty in your congratulations. When you are happy, you are happy. You are hearty. But when you feel with your heart, when you are sad, when you empathize, it's heartfelt. And then you can't say immense condolence. Condolence can't be immense. Condolence can't be great. Condolence, even deep condolence would not be appropriate. Deep gratitude. Condolence can't be deep. Gratitude can be deep. Raju speaks English with a dash accent. Average accent? Average is not with accent. He is average in his studies. Widespread accent? Accent cannot be widespread. Widespread rain, perhaps. Chronic accent? No. Accent cannot be chronic. The illness can be chronic. So, accent has to be pronounced. Pronounced is marked accent, fixed accent. Our college success, college, don't say college, or college success has been phenomenal, good, considerable, average, disappointing. Now, what does the sentence convey? College success. Success has to be phenomenal success, great success. If you say our college progress, then perhaps you can say good progress, considerable progress, average progress. But then when you say success, you've already indicated that word success. It has to be phenomenal, and success cannot be disappointing at all. Okay? Can you give me an dash account of the expense? Already you have the article there to indicate what would be right. Can you say an careless account? Detailed account would be right, but here is the article an. If it had been a, then you can say, can you give me a detailed account? But an, article, an article comes before a vowel sound. Can you give me a wide account? An wide account? Impossible. A correct account would be acceptable, but then again the sound an, the vowel, you know, the article. So it has to be an itemized account of the expense, an itemized. Sonia invited me to see, Soma invited me to see his dash gadget, iPhone. Can the gadget be colorful? No. Can it be noted? No. Casual? No. A gadget can't be a casual gadget. A gadget can't be damaging. It has to be latest gadget. iPhone 11, which is the pride of most of us. We all want to own an iPhone 11, S if possible. So collocations essentially, students, are words that go together to convey. If you have given a wrong collocation, for example, if you have said, my friend, when my friend lost his grandfather, I expressed my hearty condolence to him, there would be a temporary confusion. The message is definitely delayed. How can condolence be hearty? Now we go on to the next slide. Fixed expressions. Here, communication is totally affected because, be quiet, students, the principal just passed away. Passed away, passed on. All these mean he's gone up to the heavens. But the person wanted to say, be quiet, students, the principal just passed by. These are phrasal verbs. Passed by is just passed by our class. We've been looking up to the teacher since morning. Looking up to the teacher is long. Looking for the teacher. We are trying to locate the teacher. Looking for the teacher since morning because we love her class. I don't think any student would be looking for the teacher since morning to have a class. But then here is a student with a difference. We've been looking for the teacher, not looking up to the teacher. Looking up to the teacher is looking up to the teacher for reverence, for respect. But then you can't be looking up to the teacher only since morning. I realize that smoking is a bad habit. That's why I've decided to give in to it. Give in is to surrender. You want to give up smoking, not to give in to smoking. That's why I've decided to give it up. To give it up would be right. Again, there is communication distorted. When he realized that so many people were contesting for the academic council, he backed up. See, he has realized that there are many people contesting for the academic council. So that unnerves him. He backed out. Back up is to support. As a teacher, I have put up 8 years of service. Put up is to tolerate. Just as you have been putting up with this workshop, tolerating this workshop for an hour and a half, the teacher here says, I have put up 8 years of service. No, I have put in. Put in is, I have 8 years of service. I have rendered 8 years of service. Now, word inappropriacy. Let's first understand that earlier, when we speak about the pre-independence time, I'm taking you to about 70 years earlier, English was taught to the Indians mainly to serve the English people. So they learned a variety of English that was very formal, that was not meant for informal settings at all. And therefore, you have certain terms that are still used and which find their way into our writing nowadays. For example, due to paucity of funds, we cannot organize the cultural meet. Paucity is a very, very formal expression to say few, small number. But funds cannot be small number. You can just say due to lack of funds, due to inadequate funds, not paucity of funds. So due to lack of funds, we cannot organize the cultural meet. We don't have enough funds. We were directed by the principal to meet you, madam. Directed, instructed. No, we were asked by the principal to meet you. That is all. We were asked. A simple word like asked. Directed would be very, very formal. Sometimes using formal language also impedes pronunciation. Impedes communication. The college fee is only 500 rupees per annum. Per annum is something that we very, very commonly use. Per year would be, more suitable, more appropriate, and more communicative too. Since again, please remember the expanding circle. If you say to an English person per annum, they might wonder, though it is they who taught us this, the formal language, they don't use it any longer. We thank you, sir, for providing this opportunity, providing us this opportunity. No, giving us this opportunity. Providing would be for facilities. We thank our principal for providing us the facilities of this workshop, the facility of this online workshop. But opportunities are more given for giving us this opportunity. All these are, expressions that don't distort communication, but they definitely delay communication. The next communication class commences in January 2021. Commences, very, very formal word. Begins. Now again, many of you might wonder how different are the words begin and start. Why can't you say start? The next communication class starts in January. Start is always momentary. Takshna, the workshop starts at 10:30. The workshop starts from the start to the finish, you see. The workshop went off well from the start to the finish. That is from the time it began till the time it ended. That is start. Begin would be, it begins in January. It begins any time in January. You don't give it a fixed time. Similarly, there are a lot of difference between want, need, and require. Want is, I want to have my lunch now. That's what I want. It's more my wish. I want to have a car. I want to have, a huge villa. I need. Need is something which is immediate. I need to take my medicines in the morning. Without it, it would be difficult. Want can be dispensed with. It's more impulsive. I want to buy something, but I can survive without it. Need is something which I have to have. It is absolutely needed again. Require is more a formality. I am required to fill in this form in order to get something. I want to attend this workshop if you really want to. I need to attend this workshop because I feel I need to learn something about communication. I am required to attend this workshop because without this, I will not get my certificate, and therefore I am attending this workshop. I require it. I require this workshop in order to get my certificate. Now, what's wrong with these expressions? Very, very broadly, I've just cited 4. There are 7 aircrafts in this field is wrong. There are 7 aircraft. Aircraft is a group of airplanes. There are 7 airplanes in this field is right. The English language has only 26 alphabets. Alphabets is always wrong. The English language has only 26 letters of the alphabet. Very often mothers say, my child knows all the alphabets. It's wrong. My child knows all the letters of the alphabet. Sir, we are waiting for your advices. No, advices cannot be plurified. We are waiting for your advice. Advice can be even 10 different kinds of advice. There cannot be 10 advices. There are 10 kinds of advice. There are several affairs that keep our principal busy. There are several affairs, several different kinds of affair. Affairs is wrong. Affair is always kinds of affair, the different sectors of affair that keep our principal busy. Can I have some chalks, please? Some pieces of chalk, please. Chalks cannot be plurified. So this is about expressions where people, countable nouns and uncountable nouns. That's again, I'm going, according to grammar, but then let's not delve into the areas of grammar. Let's just make it highly communicative, merely communicative. Now, there are also these wrong expressions that are used. Mr. Rajashekar is a busybody. No wonder he is healthy. Busybody is a negative term. Busybody is a person who is highly interfering with others. Here, what the person wants to say is he wants to compliment Mr. Rajashekar. No wonder he is healthy. He is a busy person. Busy person, one who keeps himself busy. Busybody is an intrusive person. So, totally wrong. The communication here is distorted. Should we ask the bearers to get some more water? Bearers. Very often when we go to a hotel or a restaurant, we say bearers. Bearers are pall bearers who carry the coffin. These people are waiters. Should we ask the waiters to get some more water? Since his childhood, my brother has been shy and antisocial. Antisocial is wrong. Shy and unsocial. Unsocial is not to be social, not to be amiable, not to be friendly. Unfriendly, you can say. Antisocial is to be against society, an activist, a person who challenges the societal norms, antisocial, a rebel, a terrorist. So again, communication is distorted. It's good to starve on Mondays. Starve is compulsory. I have no food. A beggar starves. But I choose to fast on Mondays. Fasting is voluntary. Starving is compulsory, forced on me because I have no food. The number of students attending online classes is deteriorating day by day. Deteriorating is wrong. Declining day by day. Number of students is decreasing day by day. Deteriorating is the quality of online classes is deteriorating, you can say. The quality is deteriorating. The number can only decline or decrease. The climate is very hot today. Climate is an overall weather. The weather is very hot today. Outside, weather is temporary. Climate is permanent. The climate in Bangalore, in Belagavi is generally cool. That is the climate, the overall weather through the year. But weather is just for today. The weather has been bad in the last 2 days. I can't say the climate has been bad in the last 2 days. I want to go abroad for further studies. Very, very commonly used. It's for higher studies that you go abroad, not for further studies. Further is to move on. I returned from my native only yesterday, from my native place. A person who belongs to a place becomes a native of the place. You can't return from your native place. You are a native of your native place. So I can't be returning from my native because I'm a native of my native place. Native refers to the person. Native place refers to the region. Your letter needs to be short. No. Shirts can be short. Skirts can be short. A person can be short. Your letter needs to be brief. It can't be short. It should be brief. Teachers have not collected their pay for last month. Pay is wrong. Their salary for last month. Pay is wages. You don't pay for, it's always the salary which is given for a month. Pay would be, you don't pay the person. You can't say, I didn't get my pay. I didn't get my remuneration. Then the next is the use of nicely. Very, very often we use nicely for anything and everything. It rained nicely last night. It rained heavily last night. Here you're talking about competence for global communication. Please understand that. And we need to develop our competence. If you say it rained nicely, we can understand. But nicely here we mean for heavily. Miss Kavita explained the poem nicely. She can't explain the poem nicely. She can explain the poem clearly. My neighbor spoke nicely to me because he wanted my help. My neighbor spoke sweetly to me. My neighbor spoke softly to me. My neighbor spoke politely to me because he wanted my help. This bisibele baat, I'm sure I'm saying the wrong thing now with all of us feeling hungry. This bisibele baat is very nicely prepared, is deliciously prepared. When Ramu failed in his exams, his father scolded him nicely. Channaga. Channaga Baidru. That Channaga in this is purely an L1 intrusion. So, father cannot scold him nicely. Father scold him severely, badly. Again, reduplication is another mistake that we make. I would like to have hot coffee now. Hot coffee. Busy coffee bacon and get. Busy. Hot. For us, it's okay. But again, when you go to the expanding circle, I'd like to have very hot coffee. I see small children playing in the garden. I see very tiny children playing in the garden. Tiny is small. Chikku makkalu. Sneha wears different dresses to college every day. A variety of dress to college every day, not different. Bangalore has tall buildings. Bangalore has many sky-rise buildings. First, when I came to college, I was very scared. First. Initially, when I came to college, I was very scared. See, all these expressions are okay with, our own Indians. But then when you want to cross the Indian border and go abroad, these expressions could create confusion. I like going on picnics. What's wrong with these utterances? When someone says, I like going on picnics, you don't say, even I like going on picnics. You must say, so do I. That is a competent user. So do I. Not repeat whatever the other person has said. I'm leaving for Bangalore on Sunday itself. You're leaving for Bangalore on Sunday itself? No. Are you? That's all. Are you? Which means, are you leaving for Bangalore? That's called clipping in English. I haven't had any class for the past 4 months. Oh God. It depends. If the person says, I haven't had any class for the past 4 months and happy about it, oh, how nice, you can say. Or, I haven't had any class for the past 4 months. Oh, is it? So, it's only in the tone that you convey your response. Will you please explain this lesson again? The student says. The teacher shouldn't say, you want me to explain the lesson again? You must just say, sure. Do I need to? So those are the ways of responding. You could have come earlier. Yes, I could have come earlier. No, I should have. I should have. Yes, you're right. I should have. That's all. That's called clipping, which is very important. The audience were huge in number. This is purely a subject-verb agreement. The audience were huge. No, the audience is always singular. The audience was huge in number. The number for the degree classes are increasing? No, the number is increasing. The number of admissions for the degree classes is increasing. Tea from Ooty and Kodaikanal are much stronger than tea from Darjeeling. No. Tea from Ooty and Kodaikanal. What is much stronger? The tea. It is not Ooty and Kodaikanal which are stronger. It is the tea that comes from these two places. The subject here is tea. So that tea is much stronger than tea from Darjeeling. The panel for the admission have found him competent. The panel for the admission has. The panel may consist of 5 members, 10 members, but still the panel is just one. And the panel has found this person competent. Neither Rahim nor Ram are attending the workshop today. Neither Rahim nor Ram is attending the workshop today. Neither Rahim is attending the workshop nor Ram is attending the workshop today. Then we go on to the next. Choose the right word. I don't know how clear this is. If you have your workshops, your worksheets, it should be clear, but even for me, it is not very clear. I've tried to expand it. Those people have also been trying to tell me, I don't know, I'm sorry. Choose the right word. Here, a person who travels on foot, is he a traveler? A person who travels is a traveler. It can be on foot, it can be on plane, he can go by bus. He is just a person who travels is a traveler, but here it is on foot. Pilgrim. Pilgrim is a person who visits temples, who visits places of worship. A jogger, a person who runs, is a person who jogs. So a person who goes on foot is a pedestrian. See, this is mainly a vocabulary exercise. A home for children without parents is not a homage. Homage is a tribute that you pay to a dead person. An orphanage. A home for children without parents is an orphanage. Remember, you don't say homage. You don't say orphanage, going back to speech, to pronunciation. It's a homage, orphanage. It can't be a nursery. A nursery is a place, if it's, selling plants or maybe where children play. Residence. Residence is the place where we reside. A book that contains information on various topics. Is it a dictionary? A dictionary gives you meanings of words. A novel gives you stories or a story. But here, it gives information on various topics. Thesaurus? No. A thesaurus again gives you antonyms and synonyms. Encyclopedia is right because that gives us information on various topics. A speech delivered without any previous preparation. You just call a person, come on, we don't have anyone for the next 10 minutes, say something. Is it a dialogue? A dialogue is always between two. A dialogue is between two. But now I seem to be doing a monologue, talking to myself. I have another person imaginarily sitting before me, that's all. Dialogue is just between two people. You know, they always say prayer is not a monologue, but a dialogue between oneself and God. When you talk, when you send a prayer upward, God listens. Is a speech delivered without any previous preparation and elocution? No. Elocution is when you are prepared, the topic is given, and you are judged mainly on your capacity to deliver. Dialect is always a dialect of a language. When you talk about Kannada, Kannada in Belagavi may be totally different from Kannada in Bangalore. Kannada in Bangalore is a highly polluted Kannada, I should say, because it has Tamil in it, it has Telugu in it, it has Hindi in it now, it has also English in it. So dialect is a variety. So what is a speech which is delivered without any previous preparation? An extempore. It's not extempore, but an extempore is the right pronunciation. Extempore is just that, you know, without any preparation, you say something, you deliver a speech. One who does not take any alcoholic drink. Vegetarian? No. A vegetarian is a person who takes only vegetables and milk products. A forestaller is a person who is able to predict what comes. No. A saint is not a person who doesn't take any alcoholic drink. We don't know how saints are. A teetotaler is a person who does not take any alcoholic drink. So these are just some areas in, vocabulary. But the best way to improve a vocabulary, perhaps when I meet you in person, I can give you some more tips. Yes, a big thank you from me, students, for giving me this lovely opportunity. I must thank Dr. Jayappa first. I must thank my, colleague, Dr. Jyoti, from, Dr. Kavita from the Department of English, Dr. Jyoti, immensely for the technical support, Mr. Santosh. I don't know how much of my, workshop or what I said reached you, but again, thank you. But then it's nothing like an in-person workshop. You know, there's a lot of exchange of ideas. Here I was just, as I told you earlier, delivering a monologue. I don't know, how many of you have any doubts, but my email ID is with Dr. Kavita. So those of you who have doubts, please feel free to contact me on my email ID. I'm always available. My students at RVNMS College, my former students, still contact me. I have also a website on Facebook called Cause Shakespeare Too Once Learned English. I have been posting a lot of language lessons there. You can visit that and to stay connected. Communication, our communications should not stop with this online workshop. I wanted to continue. I've already made a request to Dr. Kavita to give us an opportunity to meet one another, exchange ideas. That would be a better platform, not one enabled by technology, but one enabled by person. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. Thanks a lot, students.
Madam, thank you.
I can hear the applause. So that gratifies me.
It's a response to your enlightening discourse, your presentation. But I'm really in the chat box, we are getting a lot of appreciation from participants across India.
Thank you so much.
We'll be very happy to know that 1,045 participants, 1,045.
Oh God, I'm very happy. I'm thrilled. I'm
on
thrilled.
Zoom and
very good.
On
very good.
YouTube,
1,000?
There are so many.
Let me note the number.
1,045.
Wonderful.
1,045.
I'm very happy. Thank you, Kavita, for giving me this opportunity.
Actually, we are thankful you accepted the invitation. We are thankful.
That's okay, you know, because as a teacher, I like to interact. That's my main thing. And here before a screen. Anyway, thanks to Jyoti. She helped me a lot.
Jyoti is here.
Yes.
And I'm confident all the participants have really learned from your words. It was very innovative. You made it practical as well, though we are online.
Yes, that was...
Really, it was very innovative, madam. So on behalf of English department and on behalf of Professor Jayappa sir, who is the program director, and on behalf of our Honorable Vice Chancellor and the whole team of university, the college.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to you, madam, for accepting and making this very innovative and effective workshop for us. Thank you, madam. And there is a request from so many participants that they need your PPT.
Oh, my PPT, the initial one, not the worksheets, but the initial. I'll share it with you, Kavita.
Thank you, madam. I will leave it.
Yeah, please, definitely. And how do I get to see the comments? I don't know. I mean, there are comments on the chat, which I think.
Chat box.
Oh, but then it can they be consolidated and sent? Is that possible? I don't know.
Yes, ma'am. We'll do it. We'll do it.
Jyoti will do it, I guess. Jyoti and Santosh know.
Yes, ma'am. They will help us.
Thank you.
Our technical support team, Dr. Fayyaz Ilkal, Dr. Jyoti, Santosh Rajput, Dr. Ramesh MN, Dr. Jagdish Gasti, and our Vice Principal Anil Ramdut sir.
Yes.
Dr. Sakar Kamble. So there are so many people who it will take a long time to take
don't present at all. You thank everyone, and I'm also, offering my
students are present here.
Hearty thanks.
So my thanks.
Are there any students? I would like to see some of my students and wave out to them.
Please stand up, all the students. Stand up, all the students.
I love y'all. We'll meet in person without masks. Let's hope that in 2021.
Yes, ma'am, definitely.
Yes, we meet in person, not like this.
In a couple of months, we'll invite you once again.
Definitely.
Yes, ma'am. So my thanks to Professor Ramchandra Gowda, our Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, who came and really he gave a good beginning to our workshop. And yes, ma'am. And Professor Padmashali, sir, who is the registrar of our university, and Dr. S.M. Hurkadli, sir, registrar evaluation, Professor D.N. Patil, finance officer. So they also supported us a lot. So my sincere thanks to them. Then introductory note was given by
Pooja Halyal. Yes, I should thank her too. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. So she also came physically and joined the workshop and gave her introductory note. So thanks to her from the institution. And I think all the participants who are physically present and who are watching online. So my thanks to all of them. And the feedback link, I just want to give one information. The feedback link will be given soon, maybe tomorrow.
That's okay.
On Telegram group. But as the number is more than 1,000, every day we can circulate only 100 participants, 100 e-certificates. So it will take maybe 9-10 days of time. So hope all the participants will cooperate with us and wait patiently. If after 10 days also if you're not receiving, please mail us. We'll be there to help you. Our team, the technical team is always with you. Thank you all for patiently watching online and supporting us. Thank you, madam.
Just one line, Kavita, before I close.
Yes, ma'am.
Coming together is a beginning.
Yes, ma'am. Sure, definitely.
Being together is progress.
Yes.
But working together is success. So,
You're right. You're right. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. We'll close here. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Rajupa. Rajupa.